think you should.
Welcome back to this week's episode of Whoscussion. We're going to be jumping into The Vengeance of Morbius. This is the second part of the 8th Doctor story about Khan with Lucy Miller. Yeah. And then we're going to be finishing this off with the Piltdown Men. So The Vengeance of Morbius picks up from where we left off, with Lucy and the Doctor about to be executed on Khan. Just before that happens, though, the Doctor decides to use a time ring to get out. It makes the noise, and time rings don't have handbrakes, so you're wrong, River. And it stops working because of the nature of the temporal execution chamber in which they're in. The Doctor says, hey, where did you get that ring from? And Lucy's like, I got it from Straxus. And the Doctor's like, hey, Morbius already has a Time Lord. Stop killing us so I can help you fight the resurrected Morbius. Yeah. And they're like, oh, damn, they've got you.
We've messed up our entire plan.
Yeah. We've done it. It's great. So the Straxus and the, what's his name? Vorg? What was the name of that gentleman? What was his name?
Of the centipede.
Yeah, what was the name of the gentleman? Was it Bulek?
I think something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so him and Straxus, they crash onto the planet of Khan. They're brought down because the scans from the gentleman who kicked the Sisterhood of Khan off Khan, he's created...
Not Straxus.
The rich bad guy.
S-name.
Yeah. What the hell was S-name? It was S-name, so...
Zardonyx?
Zardonyx? Let's have a look.
What's that? Is that... It's too many.
Yep, Zardonyx. Yeah, his name is Zardonyx. Christoph Zardonyx. Well, anyway, we find out that he's actually the leader of the cult of Morbius, which I only knew about from actually talking to other people. I didn't know it actually appeared in this, and I used them in some phonetical fiction that I may or may not have written. And so they capture this Time Lord. They're going to use his matter to regenerate the remnants of Morbius's desecrated corpse. They managed to pull it off, and the Doctor on Khan is telling Lucy about in fact he fought Morbius before, but he had his brain stuck in a fish tank with eyes, and Lucy's like, please tell me you're making that up. And he's like, I'm not. That's a real thing that happened. She's like, that's dumb. And he's like, we had like 20
sound canon at all.
Yeah. We had 20 pounds per episode, so just calm down, Lucy. So they the Sisterhood's like, hey, Doctor, you need to sort this out. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go to Khan and I'm gonna sort it out. And so they zip off in the TARDIS, and they go to Gallifrey, and he's like, hey, Gallifrey, what are you doing? And Lucy's like, Gallifrey looks kind of, and then they like make fun of how it looked in Classic Who, and
how it's empty.
Yeah. She's like, where the hell is everybody? And he's like, oh, nobody's in the capital because it's
we don't have enough money to hire.
Yeah, exactly. But there's no people in the capital because of like Time Lord stuff. They're all out in the other cities. And she's like, oh, okay. He's like, yep, you need to believe that. They meet this guy who's all like, hey, Doctor, the High Council basically have cleaned their hands of this and have hired me and Straxus to help you out. And I'll say, we really needed more than just two of you guys trying to fix this. He's like, well aware of that, bro. Right, well aware of that, but that wasn't the resources I was given. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to head off to Khan and go fight them. He's like, you can't go to Khan. It's scary. And the Doctor's like, I know. Isn't that the whole reason you try to get me involved? And he's like, okay, cool. You can go now. And the Doctor zips off, and him and Lucy are like, hey, we need to go to Khan and sort everything out. So they go to Khan. They've hit a time storm, and they land on Khan, but it's a decade later. Straxus is all like,
Okay, so hold on. Let me clean this up.
oh, you
What
okay?
actually happened is when they're there, Morbius has been regenerated, and he's got himself a shield manipulator.
Yeah,
He's able to control Eye of Harm, basically.
yeah,
Goes ahead and drains the Time Lords of all power, but just in the nick of time, Doctor and Lucy get in the TARDIS and try to jump to Khan to try and stop this from happening, but just as that happens, all the power goes out of the Eye of Harmony, so the TARDIS barely manages to
the
materialize.
TARDIS just makes it.
Yeah.
And he's Morbius, because it's been a decade, he's got a intergalactic militia that's built out of the cult of Morbius, and they're just taking over everything. And Morbius is like, Sardonyx, you're just sort of an ends to a means, bro. Just shut up. And Sardonyx is like, oh, I like your hat and your clothes. And he's like, thanks, man. That's real cool. And so the Doctor's like, hey, I'm going to have a telepathic conversation with the Sisterhood of Khan. He's like, hey, Sisterhood. And they're like, yo, what's up? He's like, hey, look, I'm probably going to turn up and regenerate at some point, but that's not the story we're talking about right now. Okay.
I don't really want to do that. Please don't let.
Yeah, please don't let me become a non-canon Doctor that becomes canon. And so she's like, okay, cool, I'll suss it out with my successor, but what do you want to talk about? And he's like, look, I'm going to concentrate real hard on getting you this stellar manipulator, and you need to either teleport it or me away the moment I concentrate real hard about it. And like, sweet, cool, I've got you. And the Doctor's like, sweet, I hope so. And then Lucy finds...
No, totally don't got it.
Yeah, they totally don't got it. So Lucy... Lucy finds the old Bulik, and he's all like, I've been messed up real bad. And Lucy's like, no, you've been messed up real bad. And she's like, I'm real sorry I was racist to you. And he's like, and all he can say now is Lucy Miller, because he's all like demented now. And Straxus is like, hey, look, I'm really not good. And the Doctor's like, it's all right, man. I'm gonna sort it out. So the Doctor and Lucy and Straxus and the insect guy, they all throw down with Sardonyx and Morbius. And the Doctor's like, if you don't sort it out, I'm going to drop you off this cliff. And Morbius is like, no, you won't. Then the Doctor drops him off the cliff and he falls down with him. And Lucy's like, oh, what's going on? And Straxus is like, oh, cool, I'm getting healed now. The Time Lords are fixing it all. And the Time Lords give Khan back to the Sisterhood. Like, hey, can you guys stop being creepy? And they're like, nah, we're going to keep being creepy. And then Lucy's like, oh, can you guys go get the Doctor? And they're like, no, we can't, because him falling off that cliff is the whole reason we repaired time. So we're not going to do that. And then Straxus is like, oh, hey, we should probably wipe your memory. And she's like, can you never, ever suggest doing that again? And then he's like, oh, I'm sorry about that. And that's that. Harry Skelly, your thoughts?
Yeah, it was. I felt like it was a bit quick, honestly. It's obviously not a short story. It's like,
yeah, it was real rapid, right?
Yeah, but like the ending of it was just like snap, and it's like it's kind of expecting the title being called "Vengeance of Morbius," that Morbius would have a little bit more vengeance to do, but I guess mainly his vengeance was against the Time more than it was against the Doctor, even though the Doctor kind of stopped his regeneration.
Yeah, like kind of second killed him.
Yeah, so I guess it's kind of fair at the same time, but I don't know, it just felt like he wasn't in the story as long as he really could be, considering the kind of build-up that we had for him. But no, I guess it was fair. He does have this interesting, this really funny moment. He's like, oh, you know, I just took over. I've got the Statue of Liberty. Let's just put it on the roof or something.
Yeah. He's like, like he like drunkenly picked it up. Like, hey,
yeah,
I got the statue. It's like something like Morty, like Rick would do in Rick and Morty. Morty, exactly. I saw the Statue of Liberty.
Morbius is Rick, absolutely. Yeah, in the Whoniverse, the Whoniverse's Rick is more. That's beautiful. That's great. That's canon, right? So, yeah, I think that's really my only gripe with it. Otherwise, it was pretty good. I like Lucy just like totally having a go at the Time Lords for like basically pussying out at the end.
Yeah.
Totally, absolutely could have saved the Doctor really if they just changed basically.
Yeah, maybe like a rock that made him fall off.
Like, again, they basically shafted him again, like they do every single time. Like, come on, really?
Yeah. I saved you guys. Oh, we don't care. You're still a criminal. I literally love my planet.
Like, you've wanted to make me president how many times now?
No.
Yeah, totally still a criminal. Yeah, the fact that the Sisterhood just like this is like, no, I'm not gonna save you.
Yeah. I like how Morbius cracks up at him. It's like, did you actually think they were going to save you? It's like, yeah, I kind of did, actually.
Yeah, kind of. They did. So, yeah. It's a pretty good time. That was that. Yeah, that's all I can say. It's too short.
Yeah, it is too short. I absolutely agree. It feels like maybe they could have condensed the events of part 1 and had it more focused towards Morbius. Morbius could have come back in maybe part 1 instead of part 2.
Yeah, I feel like that could have.
Yeah, because I mean, a good quarter of an hour is spent Morbius. Oh, Morbius is coming back.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the very beginning of this, the first part of the story. So the previous episode. Sorry, trying to figure out my thoughts here. The beginning part of the first episode arc. Absolutely, the end of it could have still ended on the Doctor and Lucy getting sucked out of time deal machine, but it should have also ended with Morbius getting resurrected like right then. Yeah, because in this entire episode, him being this powerful, crazy bad guy that they've got to get to, instead of basically halfway through, that's when he finally gets resurrected, and then he's only a couple of minutes until it's all over. It's like, all right.
Yeah, he's in about 4 minutes worth of the episode. Yeah. He's not very present at all.
Exactly. And I was kind of expecting like the Doctor and him to like have this like test where like they monologue at each other for a while. Like Morbius talks about his reign, president, and how he was way better at this than everybody. And the Doctor's like, you know what makes a really good president? Not wanting to be one.
Yeah.
That would have been cool. Hey. It's still better than Boomtown.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. It is still better than Boomtown. I'm with Harriet Skelly here. There's unfortunately not a hell of a lot I can really say about this. This part B is going to be quite short, unfortunately, because there's not a hell of a lot to say about the next one either.
This seems to be part B's these days. I think we might have to like kick it up, take two 8th Doctor stories instead of.
You reckon?
Because they are pretty short. Because they're pretty short, and with the short stories as well, they're even shorter. Because even though they are like they can come up to being, they are in essence very, very short plot wise. So
yeah, okay, I think maybe okay. So would you like to start that next week?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. All right, that's going to make things a lot easier. We get to Dark Eyes faster, so I'm happy about that. Really happy about that. Oh, the Tardy books. Okay, so so there. Unfortunately, we've already really discussed the ins, outs, and the finality of the story. It begins and it ends, basically.
Yeah. It doesn't feel unfulfilling though. At the same time, like
I like the throwdown at the end when the Doctor's like, "Sweet."
When you have this build up in this climax, it feels really short as a climax. So, but at the same time not unfulfilling. Like you're still climaxed at the end. You just it just wasn't what you were expecting, really.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Well, with that out of the way, guys, we'll jump into the Piltdown Men, which is a second Doctor short trip. Harry's going to take us away. Okay,
so H.G. Wells, because I'm guessing in the universe, H.G. Wells' books was actually written by H.G. Wells. Surprise. Anyway, so H.G. Wells has managed to an alien life form, kind of alien, future life form, that's like a hybrid of man and monkey, in particular. And in the weirdness of this, he's called Specialist, which just happens to be Dr. John Smith, oddly enough, who is the second Doctor. At first I was thinking the third Doctor, because I hadn't looked into it, but then I realized, oh no, that's
You know what I love?
That's the second Doctor.
We both thought that. I was like, oh, John Smith, I must be when he was working for UNIT. And then my brain was like,
Yeah.
hang on, H.G. Wells, he wouldn't be alive.
Exactly.
So-
But also it was like the initial talking, like, and then he started being a bit sillier about it. I'm like, no, that's not him. So yeah, it's interesting. Like the aspects of even in audio, the Doctors are so personally different that you can pick it up. Just not even in the like, it's not just the inflection that like people put on for them. It's also just the way that they act is very particular between Doctors. Obviously, if you just said just a silly Doctor, you could be like, okay, that could be 4 as well. But you know, there's you get as you get more and more information about who it is, you figure out which Doctor it is. And I feel like that's something that the audio stories don't utilize enough. Honestly, that they don't try to keep it a secret which Doctor it is for long. I feel like that would be a pretty interesting aspect.
I think that's an issue as well because of the like sometimes the front covers are the Doctor that's in it. I would keep it a secret. It's because
trying to keep it a secret.
There's a special release that I listened to a while ago, before this podcast actually began. This is 3 years ago now. I came across a short trip where you don't know which Doctor it is, and then you still don't know at the end. Yeah, it's
that's pretty cool.
It's read by Nick Briggs. You still don't know, but the thing is, the fan community has come to the conclusion it's the War Doctor.
Right. Okay.
Even though it was written a whole decade before he existed.
We've just got somewhere we can place it.
Yeah,
easy.
But the way they talk, the way that this Doctor talks and is in a monologue points to him just about to blow up Gallifrey.
Right. Okay.
So like fans
Makes
are like,
sense.
it's the War
That's
Doctor.
pretty good. Well, I mean, they were setting up for it to be 8.
Yeah, exactly.
Still, they were setting up for someone to destroy Gallifrey, so makes sense. But yeah. Anyway, so more about this story. Basically, H.G. Wells figure. Second Doctor shows up. Like, explanation, this is what they are. They're from the future. They're a warrior race bred to kill and fight and all that sort of stuff. And H.G. Wells, that's cool. How about that? I'm going to take credit for my sister's writing. Totally canon. Anyway.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Anyway, then they're just looking at the body, and then more of them show up, ones that are actually alive, just appear, basically, and take them away. And the second Doctor's like, this is very curious, and kind of could be a dangerous thing, because they're generally not, they're supposed to be a big warrior race and not care about the dead. And H.G. Wells is like, right, sweet. How are we supposed to get to them? And the Doctor's like, I got a gizmo here that can make us move faster than humans can see, and we can try and track them down. And H.G. Wells is like, I'm gonna put that in the book, because that's what the... and then they do, they get faster than see. There's some weird, like, alien presence in this realm that's faster than I can see, that the second Doctor is well aware of. Like these wraiths that are apparently like beautiful, like green-eyed things.
Yeah, and the Doctor's like, just don't worry about them.
Yeah, the Doctor's like, don't worry about those. Good. They'll leave you alone if you leave them alone. Of course, H.G. Wells being H.G. Wells, like, I'm gonna touch them. And then they end up being kicked out of this realm, basically, and find out where the Piltdown men went. That's what I'm assuming that they're intending to call these things. And find that the reason why they actually took the body is because they are developing sensibilities enough to want to preserve, to look after their dead, like when they were warriors, and just let them die in the battlefield. And the second Doctor and H.G. Wells have a nice little, they basically sit there and watch what's happening, figuring out that this is like a death ceremony, and they go and actually talk to these people and figure out they've slowly become less and less of this warrior race, and have found themselves in a proper culture and sense of stuff. And it ends quite nice, and it's a nice, sweet, short trip. There you go.
Yeah, it's ultra short. It's 17 minutes. It's tiny. Not a heck of a lot does happen, but it's not unfulfilling at all.
Yeah,
I thought it was quite cool. It's interesting to me though, because like when in H.G. Wells' timeline is this? Because he meets Six when he's like late teens.
Yeah, and meets the 10th in 1889.
Yeah, so
he's met the Doctor a couple of times.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I wonder when his sister be.
Yeah, the Doctor's like, oh no, she was eaten by a time monster, so you have to take credit for all her books. And it's like, oh, okay, that's how cool. And then the Whoniverse gives a reason to why he's the writer and not his sister because of a time monster.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, we're just trying to find a way to make it work, guys, because we just can't. Anyway,
well, the thing is that it was obviously all of these things were made before the real thing about that sort of came out. So it's fair enough. Especially back in when the Sixth Doctor was meeting him as well. Makes very much sense.
Yeah, because I really didn't know then.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, it's still sort of not really is possibly the case. In fact, more probably the case. But those things happen. When it comes to sci-fi writing, especially when you're trying to. I imagine that there's at some point or another, figure out something that says that something that happened in Doctor Who was also not totally to the truth for history. But luckily, the Doctor didn't go back and see dinosaurs, at least while they were in the dinosaur age. They were all brought forward. So, considering that they now kind of know that some dinosaurs would have had feathers instead of just the scaling. So. I feel like that could be another great addition to having that the dinosaur episode re-CG'd.
Yeah, I would love them to re-CG it,
making them look like we think that they look now, like feathers and stuff. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Well, guys, that's us for this week. I know part A was a bit of a long one, but there was a hell of a lot to say. Guys, we'll catch you next week, and you have yourself a good one.